It's my privilege and honor to be the president at Athens State University and to be the one to welcome you here. This is a great day for Calhoun Community College and Athens State University. Earlier today we had the grand opening for this facility. This is one of our very first major events, and we're delighted to have this particular event here as the opportunity to christen the recital hall. My job is to welcome you and to introduce a few of our special guests that are with us here in the room. I do want to particularly note that we have a number of the members of the Alabama Community College System Board and the Athens State University Board here. And I want to just briefly mention that we have Blake McAnally and Crystal Brown. Where are you two? There's Crystal back here, and here's Blake right over here with the Alabama Community College System Board. We also have Clint Shelton, Arthur Orr, and Kathy Dickens from the Athens State University Board. So let's have a round of applause for those members of our board. Jim and I would not be able to do what we have done without their full support, and they've all been very supportive of this project in particular. I also want to thank Senator Orr and Representative Terry Collins. I know that Representative Collins is here with us tonight, right back here. And I want to particularly mention them because they were very instrumental in helping us to get state resolutions signed by the governor here honoring each of the inductees and noting their being the initial inductees in the Alabama Hall of Fame for the Arts. So we are very appreciative of your support. I also noticed that Tad Bowling is here, the mayor of Decatur. I think is important to note that we would not be here without the full partnership of both the city of Decatur and Morgan County, who were very instrumental in bringing this facility to the downtown area. So we appreciate that. I also want to mention just briefly that Jack Fight is here. Where's Jack? I saw him just a minute ago. Jack is the builder of this facility as well as Phase 1. So I think he deserves a round of applause. Many of you probably noticed that Richard Zellner was listed as an initial inductee. I do want to mention that his wife was not able to be with us this year. And so we will be working with her to come back next year in our next Hall of Fame to receive that award. But I did want to just mention that so you wouldn't leave wondering. In our program, you will find a couple of things. One of them is a complete description of each of the inductees who we'll be introducing here in just a few minutes. But you'll also find a free ticket because we are very proud of this facility and we're proud of what's going on in both Phase 1 and Phase 2. We want to give you an opportunity to come back to Phase 2 and see a production here. So you'll find a ticket that's good that you can present at the box office for a production of your choice, and we hope that you will do so soon. If you run into any problem, just mention that Jim Clauber sent you. But no, we hope that you will come back, and we hope that you will come back often. The main reason that we built this facility was to celebrate the arts, but it's no good having a celebration if there's no one in the room with us. So we do hope that you will become regular subscribers to both the musical and drama events and the art events that we have in the gallery. Now, I do want to mention very briefly, when we were developing the program for the first induction, one of the things that we scratched our heads over was just exactly what to do about an award itself. We've talked about a number of things. We've talked with the inductees about the possibility of having their work displayed in this building. We've talked about plaques memorializing them as the initial class of the Hall of Fame. But we also wanted to have something for the inductees to take with them. And so we were very fortunate that one of our inductees, Bruce Larsen, who, as you may know, is an internationally known sculptor, agreed to develop a unique award to be given to each of the inductees tonight. And I wanted to mention that because when you look at it, you may wonder, why did he pick a seahorse? And that was a very deliberate choice. Artists are deliberate people. They look at things, they think about them. If you talk to each artist about their work, they can tell you what they're trying to convey with that. And Bruce was just as deliberate in choosing the seahorse, which some of you may know was originally mentioned by both the Romans and the Greeks as a gift from the god of Neptune or Poseidon. And so they have always been a symbol of strength and power, of patience, of beauty, of uniqueness, all of which apply to each of our inductees. People who have done things that have set them apart, who have persisted by patience to achieve the great things that they have in their career. So I'd like to give a round of applause to Bruce Larsen for the wonderful gift he is giving to each of our inductees for this Sunday. And now I'm going to ask Jim to come forward and talk a little bit about how we got to this night tonight.
Good evening, everyone. I will also say, I hope you enjoyed the jazz band, which is one of our big hits at Calhoun. We're very happy with that. And also will shamelessly promote, as Dr. Glenn in Athens there, you have an opportunity. They have their play Verdigris, which is this part of this week and through this weekend. And then also, you could also use that ticket on December 6th or the 8th when the Calhoun Chorale gives its Christmas performance here at 7:30. So I hope you consider coming back to any one of those three performances, and I tell you, you will not be displeased with your venture. Let me tell you a little bit about our Hall of Fame and the intent behind it. We've had an original steering committee that got together. We wanted to recognize Alabama natives and residents who had really achieved preeminence in their field and in artistic expression. And we felt like the Hall of Fame furthers our mission at the Alabama Center for the Arts because it provides the public and our students with the highest caliber of artistic expression and cultural awareness, which I think benefits them as they walk through these halls and gain their education here. Our original steering committee was made up of Senator Arthur Orr, Dr. Bob Glenn, and myself, Kim Mitchell, Wally Terry, Stratton Orr, and John Joseph, and got together and we met to research the concept and gain some initial endorsement. We went around and worked on official recognition and really established a threshold of credibility. And then this past August, we were very happy to announce the creation of this Hall of Fame. So we're very excited that that has come really to fruition tonight as we recognize our inaugural class. Now I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Glenn, and we are going to go back and forth as we recognize our recipients. Dr. Glenn?
I got an email not long ago from Jennifer Bunnell, and I want to recognize Jennifer, who is the director of the Center for the Arts here and has done a wonderful job in putting all this together and is deserving of your recognition. But we had talked about the fact that we wanted the presidents and vice presidents to sit with the various artists, and she sent me a note and said, "Who would you like to sit with?" And I said, "I would like to sit with Dean Jones." And I think that startled Jennifer just a little bit. In fact, I think she may have asked somebody, does he know that Dean Jones is not with us anymore? But the reason I said that is really, and I'm so sorry I've never had a chance to meet him in person because I grew up with Dean Jones. That Darn Cat, The Ugly Dachshund, Blackbeard's Ghost. I grew up with him. He was kind of like the favorite uncle who always comes at Thanksgiving and who you're always happy to see. He had that ability to play every man and to put himself completely into a role. And he had really a very stellar career that you can read about in the program. He was a regular for the Disney films during the 60s and 70s. He did have some difficulties in his life, but he was able to overcome that and come back and have a career on Broadway. He had a truly great life, and his family wanted to be here, but they were not able to, so we do have a video acceptance from the family on behalf of Dean Jones.
Hello, I'm Laurie Jones, here on behalf of my husband, Dean Jones. Thank you for the honor and recognition of Dean's induction into the Alabama Center for the Arts Hall of Fame. To the world, Dean Jones was an actor with many creative talents. On Broadway, he sang the timeless music of Stephen Sondheim. As a Walt Disney star and legend, he brought great joy and laughter through a generation of films, such as The Love Bug, That Darn Cat, Herbie Goes to Monte Carlo. And as a film star, working with Frank Sinatra, Elvis Presley, Harrison Ford, Jane Fonda, Steve McQueen, and as a television star, hosting the Golden Globes and television variety shows. As a recording artist, he made albums for Decca and MGM Records. And in Dean's spiritual life, he portrayed biblical characters with such inspiration, depth, and hope, and traveled the country performing his one-man stage production, St. John in Exile, which I was privileged to direct. Actually, he opened the Princess Theater in Decatur right across the street from this center. How was that? Wild. The people of Decatur, Dean loved his hometown boy makes good reputation. He loved the people of Decatur, and they loved him back. And he took a trip there every time he could get there. To his country, Dean served with honor and dignity in the U.S. Naval Air Corps. To his family, Dean was a man of great character and ethics. And to me, his wife, Dean was, is, and always will be the love of my life.
Thank you.
Next, I'd like to recognize Ms. Mildred WOLFE with a posthumous recognition. She, as well as like Dean Jones, is a native of Decatur. But in addition to, I think, what was fascinating to me as I read her history is that, in addition to being an artist, she was also a teacher who taught civics, history, English, and Latin. What broad spectrum of knowledge that she must have had. And she and her husband, Carl, both worked in multiple genres of art: ceramics, sculpture, stained glass, which is fascinating to me as someone who's not really an artisan, to be able to perform in several different crafts and reach excellence. But her craft to her was painting, and she continued to do that well into her 90s, and has pieces on display in museums across the country. And accepting the award tonight is her daughter, Bebe WOLFE. Ms. WOLFE?
Thank you for my mother, and I am overwhelmed with the feeling of gratitude for all artists in all stripes who give themselves out to all that can enjoy and can raise the spirits of many, many, many people. So for all the inductees and for my mother, I say thank you.
While all of our inductees are artists in their own right, this next recipient is someone who becomes his art. A dancer is more than just someone who expresses something on a canvas or in a photograph. A dancer becomes the expression that he wishes to share with those who come. And our next recipient, Wes Chapman, a native of Union Springs, Alabama, a man who was born to the son of a football coach, who had the good sense to allow his son to follow his calling. And as I understand it, Wes knew early on very clearly that dancing was who he was, and dancing was the expression that he wanted to engage in. And I have to applaud, as a parent, I have to applaud his parents for having the good sense not only to let him do it, but to nurture that and to allow him to seek out his career, which I think has made a difference to so many people. As you know, Mr. Chapman went on to become a principal with the American Ballet Theater, and he is currently serving as the artistic director for the Alabama Ballet and now serves as dance department chair for the Alabama School of Fine Arts, and it's my understanding that he abandoned them in the middle of a dress rehearsal to come here tonight to receive this honor. So please welcome to the stage Mr. Wes Chapman.
I promised my parents I'd make it brief. I would like to thank my family for supporting me through what is not an easy life being a dancer, especially from the South, trying to be a ballet dancer. But I do feel that life takes us where it's supposed to take us, and I became a dancer through that time. I'm most grateful to have had so much support. I do love the state of Alabama. I'm so glad to be home. And not to be too cliche, but roll tide.
Next we have Tillman Crane, who is really works in one of the genres I told him during the reception that I appreciate the most, having been a photographer for my high school yearbook when I was young. And you know, I gave that craft up, but he mastered it, not only on a regional level, but really a national and a global level. He started out as a photojournalist, received his MFA from the University of Delaware. He's published 4 books, taught and has had art exhibited literally around the world. And he lives in the balmy climate of Camden, Maine with his family. So let me welcome Tillman Crane.
Wow. Like Wes, I have to thank my parents, my dad, who is sitting here, Tillman Crane, and my mom, who passed away a few months ago. Without their love and support and giving me the courage, and my siblings, Beth, Lee, and Bailey, who are all artists in their own right, to take this opportunity that life gives us to go out and create and bring to life what we feel and see and touch. And most importantly, I have to thank my wife, Donna, who is not only my wife, she is my partner, and probably half of this award or more goes to her, because without her patience and love, I certainly wouldn't be here. So thank you all to Decatur. And by the way, Decatur, all of Decatur, I cannot tell you how impressed I am that this Alabama Center for the Arts is in downtown Decatur. Way to go.
And now, for those of you keeping score, that's the 3rd Decatur native that we've had. And Decatur has produced great folks over the year, but to make this a State of Alabama Hall of Fame, we wanted to reach outside of our immediate area, and because there's so many wonderful, talented artists across the state. Our next recipient, who could not be here tonight, is EMMYLOU Harris, and all of you know her well. She's been performing and has had a career that spanned over 5 decades, and she is a native of Birmingham. She is a member of the Grand Ole Opry and is a member of the Country Music Hall of Fame, having been named to that honor in 2008. While she couldn't be here tonight, she does send her best wishes to the assemblage and thanks both institutions for this recognition. So could we have a round of applause for EMMYLOU Harris?
Next, our recipient is NALL HOLLIS, who grew up in Alabama, but studied under the great Salvador Dali. He's traveled around the world and has had studios in Nice and Venice, France. He founded the NALL Art Association for relief of and education of struggling young artists. His work is on display in France, in Italy, in Monaco, in Boston, and here in various places in Alabama, and he has a studio in Fairhope. I will tell you, though, when I first met NALL, he came to the college about 6 months ago. We actually talked about this Arts Hall of Fame, and he probably gave a president the best compliment that you could ever hear, or one of the best compliments ever hear, because most of the time when you talk about faculty and what's going on in the classroom, you usually hear complaints like, certainly my child or I am bright, so why didn't I get an A in this class? That might be the level that you get. But as NALL walked our halls, he turns to me and he says, I can tell that your faculty are doing great things. And he says, I can tell it by looking at the art of your students, that you are teaching them that this craft is not one to be taken lightly, and it is one that involves hard work and dedication. And he says they are only learning that from the ones that are teaching them. And to me, I glowed with radiance when he said those words to me. So it was my great privilege to welcome and honor NALL HOLLIS. NALL?
Well, here I am back in Decatur. I have to thank Bill and Betty Sims, who you all know, for Betty hosted my first art exhibit when I came back from France, the first one in Alabama. I forget what year that was, and I'm sure she did too. But my father disowned me for being an artist rather than taking over a little chain of banks in Arab, and my mother said, do whatever you've got to do. So I want to thank Bill and Betty, who are here with us tonight, and all the other people that have been involved in my career, because without the audience, without the fans, without the clients, without the press, without everything, the artist would have his work under the bed. And fortunately, mine has escaped that fate. I want to welcome you to all come to the new Arts Center at Troy University, which I've just given a whole bunch of works. And I know that's leaving myself wide open for, and what are you going to do for Decatur? So thank you all very, very much. And hello, Wes, and hello, Bruce, who were great friends of mine, and all the respected artists, the quilt makers from G's Bend, and everyone else. It's just a huge family. And thank you for supporting Alabama Arts. Thank you.
Don't be concerned, NALL. We'll have the trucks down to your place soon. He told me earlier he had a whole warehouse full of things, and so we'll make good use of that. When you want to compliment an artist, very often what you will tell that person is that they have a good eye. And by that, you usually mean that they are able to see what you can't see, and they have the ability to see that on the canvas or in their work and lay it out so that others can see what they are seeing. And it is a gift to be able to do that. And our next recipient truly has a good eye. I told him earlier today, it is remarkable that he can walk past things that 99 other people will look down and see as junk, as trash, as things that have been cast aside, old wheels and old gears and rusted pieces of metal. But when he sees them, he sees the potential of what can happen when they come together. He sees the energy that's still in the piece. He senses the life that's still in the driftwood. He has that rare gift, and it is a gift. It's not a skill that can be honed, it's a gift. It's something that comes from deep down inside. He is a native of Birmingham. His father was a professor at Auburn University. He makes his living by working with the films. That's how he pays the bill But if you know anything about Bruce Larsen and his art, you know that he is internationally known for his sculpture. And it is a great honor for us to recognize tonight Mr. Bruce Larsen.
Thanks, everybody. I really like the sense of irony and whimsy in my work. It's kind of a joke to me that I'm picking up other people's stuff and selling it back to them. But it's really kind of funny that I made myself an award too. It's the first time that's ever happened. But I'll tell you, this is a full circle moment for me. I'm really, really proud to be here, and I would have driven up here just to look into the eyes of the G's Ben Quilters. I'm a huge fan, and a huge fan of NALL and many of the inductees, and I don't know how I got here, but thank you.
Next, we have the Quilters of G's Ben's. And they are a native of G's Ben's in Boykin, Alabama. They're fabric artists and produce beautiful quilts. Their exhibits are in the Museum of Fine Arts in Houston, the Philadelphia Museum of Art, and the Whitney Museum of American Art. They truly display a craft that has endured not only generations, but centuries. So it's my great honor to welcome the Quilters of G's Ben.
We can say thank the Lord. God been good to us, and I praise and thank him. He brought me from a mighty long way, and I'm here tonight, and I just praise and thank the Lord for being here tonight. Mayran, I just thank the Lord for her. She's the one who helped me to be here tonight, and I just thank the Lord for each and everybody. I keep on keeping on. In the name of Jesus, where it be up and down. We thank our friends and our loved ones. Mayran is the best one who speak the words of everything. But I'm going to just let it take her to speak the next word on this song. And I just said thank the Lord for you all. Mayran.
First, I want to thank God for allowing us to be able to drive up to Decatur this afternoon. And I know it was God doing, it wasn't none of my doing. The work that we do is a gift that God has blessed us with. And I would like to say thank him so much. Thank everybody. Not to leave anybody out, so I'm going to say thank everybody for doing what they doing for us to be able to get where we are today. It's this song I sing. I don't want nobody praising over me when I'm gone. Give me my flower while I yet live. And this is what y'all are doing, giving us our flower. And we just like to thank you, and I would like to thank my aunt for giving me those flowers. And like I said, those flowers are a gift from God. Oh, thank you, Jesus. He have brought us from a long way. Like my auntie sang this song. Look where he brought us from. And we have been asked for a 1 or 2 selection, if y'all don't mind us giving tonight. I don't want nobody to praise me when I'm gone. I don't want nobody to praise me when I'm gone. Lord, I don't want nobody to praise me when I'm gone. Oh, give me my flower whilst I yet live, whilst I yet live. The flowers that you give me, I can't see that you give me. I can't see the beauty. Oh, give me my flowers while I yet live, while I yet live. Lord, I don't want nobody to praise me when I'm gone. I don't want nobody to praise me when I'm gone. Lord, I don't want nobody to praise me when I'm gone. Oh, give me my flowers whilst I yet live, whilst I yet live. The flowers that you give me, I can't tell nobody. Oh, the flowers that you give me, I can't tell nobody. Oh, the flowers that you give me, I can't tell nobody. Oh, give me my flowers whilst I yet live, whilst I yet live. Lord, I don't want nobody to praise me when I'm gone. I don't want nobody to praise me when I'm gone. Lord, I don't want nobody to praise me when I'm gone. Oh, give me my flowers whilst I yet live, whilst I yet live. Nobody to praise me when I'm gone, so this is what you all are doing, giving us our flowers. And again, I would like to thank Matt and Bill Arnett for helping us get out for the world to get to know us like you do. Thank you.
Those of you who know me know that I grew up in the parsonage. My daddy is a preacher. He still is a preacher, in spite of my best efforts to get him to stop. So I have enough good sense from growing up in the parsonage after that simply to say amen. I will also now ask the ushers to come forward with the offering plates. Please just make your checks payable to the Alabama Center for the Arts. Before we dismiss, I do want to recognize very quickly just one other group of people who make this opportunity possible, and that are the faculty and staff of Calhoun Community College and Athens State University. If I could get the faculty and staff of these two institutions to simply stand for a moment and be recognized. We're very proud to have you here for this event. We're very proud to have the Hall of Fame here in Decatur. We hope that this will grow over the years to become an event the entire state recognizes and honors. But at the end of the day, we're two teaching institutions. The reason this building exists is to help young people find their calling, develop their eye, express themselves in whatever way there is, and make a better life for themselves and a better life for this state. We believe in that very passionately. Jim Clarber is a great partner, and we would not be here today if there was not a cooperative effort between these two institutions. And I do want to note that there are a lot of people in this room who have supported this effort, and we thank you for that support. and we recognize that we would not be here without it. And a lot of times people say to me, thank you for what you're doing for Decatur. I'm not doing anything for Decatur. I am doing for Athens State. Jim's doing for Calhoun Community College. But we both realize that whatever's good for Decatur, whatever's good for Athens, whatever's good for Huntsville, whatever's good for North Alabama is good for our two institutions. And we appreciate the opportunity to be here and to do this good work with your support. So we thank you for being here tonight, and we look forward to the next occasion when we will come together to honor the great artists in all types of both visual, fine, and performing arts that have come from our Alabama roots. Thank you.
Have a good evening and drive safely home, and thank you again for coming.